In shocking news, independent candidate RFK Jr. backs Trump by giving him his endorsement. Well, what does this mean for RFK's presidential campaign and the future of America? We're going to unpack the details of this and so much more here on Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. This segment is sponsored by Done With Debt, providing emergency debt relief for Americans at donewithdebt.com. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Let's start the show. Well, NBC News reports that RFK Jr. endorses Trump after weeks of back-channel courtship. Kennedy had dropped in the polls in recent weeks, and he blamed Democrats for running a relentless campaign against his independent candidacy. It says here, when we watch the clip, that Phoenix, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. endorsed former President Donald Trump Friday afternoon during a lengthy speech putting to rest his tumultuous independent presidential campaign. Kennedy's campaign first confirmed the endorsement in a court filing in Pennsylvania before he took the stage for the speech in a battleground of Arizona. Trump has his own event in nearby Glendale later Friday, where Kennedy will speak, according to three sources familiar with the planning, the culmination of weeks of talks. Now, to listen to exactly what happened, here's the Gateway pundit reporting directly from RFK's speech.
My name will remain, and I am not in chronic disease. Oh, I want everyone to know that I am not terminating my campaign. I am simply suspending it and not ending it. My name will remain on the ballot in most states. If you live in a blue state, you can vote for me without harming or helping President Trump or Vice President Harris. In red states, the same will apply. I encourage you to vote for me. And if enough of you do vote for me, and neither of the major party candidates win 270 votes, which is quite possible. In fact, today our polling shows them tying at 269 to 269. And I could conceivably still end up in the White House in a contingent election. But in about 10 battleground states where my presence would be a spoiler, I'm going to remove my name. And I've already started that process and urge voters not to vote for me.
And that's absolutely incredible. When you think about it, I mean, this could actually cause Trump to win. Now, why do I say this? Because his vice presidential pick was explaining that they could get about 5% of the vote. Now, that 5% of the vote, we know the independent voters are typically people that would have voted Republican, but maybe they lean more libertarian. You don't have a lot of Democrat independent voters choosing the third party candidate. Now, RFK Jr., who's out there saying, hey, look, I'm a serious person. My family has a history of in politics. Obviously, we know what we're doing, and we could actually steal some of the vote. A lot of people don't like Trump. And a lot of people don't like Kamala. But when he's saying for the good of the country, I can't afford to steal those votes from Trump, I have to commend him. Now, I'm not a fan of some of the things that Trump has been doing. I think the fact that just today tweeted that my campaign is going to be for immigrants and for women. It's like, are you trying to really court a Democrat style, campaign? But at the same time, while his energy might not be the same as 16, he still leaps ahead of Kamala Harris, who's actually going to destroy the country. Now, one of the crazy things is that RFK Jr. took the stage and declared that the Democratic Party now represents the opposite of democracy. Listen to this. Here's his warning.
16 months ago, in April of 2023, I launched my campaign for President of the United States. I began this journey as a Democrat, the party of my father, my uncle, the party which I pledged my own allegiance to long before I was old enough to vote. I attended my first Democratic convention at the age of 6 in 1960. And back then, the Democrats were the champions of the Constitution, of civil rights. The Democrats stood against authoritarianism, against censorship, against colonialism, imperialism, and unjust wars. We were the party of labor, of the working class. The Democrats were the party of government transparency and the champion of the environment. Our party was the bulwark against big money interests and corporate power. True to its name, it was the party of democracy. As you know, I left that party in October because it had departed so dramatically from the core values that I grew up with. It had become the party of war, censorship, corruption, big pharma, big tech, big ag, and big money. When it abandoned democracy by canceling the primary to conceal the cognitive decline of the sitting president, I left the party to run as an independent.
Now he sees this hypocrisy, right? There's this sort of lack of transparency. And they literally cooed Joe Biden out of office, pressuring him with the 25th Amendment. It might have been legal, but it wasn't just. Now, of course, if you're listening to me and you're like, the world's gone crazy, well, I want to remind you, you can't fix everything in the country, but you can get rid of your debt today. Listen, I know what it's like to have debt. I've had debt in my life before. It was terrible to pay it off. And I wish someone had told me about done with debt sooner. Look, you can keep ignoring your payments. It's easy to get into debt, hard to get out of until today. When you go to donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com, you can get a time-sensitive solution right directly in your inbox where they will walk you through and help you offload your debt without having to file for a personal loan, not even a personal loan. You don't even have to file for bankruptcy. That's a pretty good deal. All you need to do is go to donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com, click Vigilant News at checkout, and you will find yourself getting rid of that debt today. But don't forget, it is time sensitive, so you got to click now. Now, as I mentioned, Trump, is being endorsed by RFK, and it looks like he might even be speaking at his upcoming rally. Listen.
Last summer, it looked like no candidate was willing to negotiate a quick end to the Ukraine war, to tackle chronic disease epidemic, to protect free speech, our constitutional freedoms, to clean corporate influence out of our government, or to defy the neocons and their agenda of endless military adventurism. But now one of the two candidates has adopted these issues as his own, to the point where he has asked to enlist me in his administration. I'm speaking, of course, of Donald Trump.
Now, that is a strategic, clever, and very important move from Trump. The fact of bringing together the independents. Now, if only the libertarian candidate would, volunteer and sponsor Trump, we might actually be able to surpass the rigging. They have a certain amount of million, the threshold to vote that they're going to try to rig, and we have to surpass it in order to make sure we win. Now, if you like this story and you want more like it, don't forget to fight censorship every day with us by signing up for our newsletter at vigilantnews.com. Or you also need to, get these videos on Rumble and on X. We are at Vigilant News. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Thank you so much again for watching. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.